Yo guys, what is up and welcome to another AC Milan podcast. So, today basically I left around 2 weeks since the last one was recorded. It was uploaded around a week ago. I had some stuff that I needed to do, so I got that out as quickly as possible. And then I basically just wanted to record another one. A few things have happened since then in terms of Serie and everything that goes around Serie. Again, I have some notes here. I can't do this kind of stuff without some notes here and there. So if you see me looking down, it's a look at the notes. And basically, we're going to talk about a few things since the last podcast. We're going to start with the first few games that happened in week. Well, I have it written down here as week 1. The first week that we didn't talk about last time. So basically, Inter destroyed Italia 5-0. It was their first game since the derby that they actually scored a significant amount of goals in the game. I think within the first few minutes they were basically dominating already. And it was the first Italia game that they didn't actually give someone an actual fight. They didn't really fight against Inter much. It was really, how can I say it, a really lackluster game from Italia, and Inter managed to get the better of them. The second game was Roma vs Atalanta, which finished in a 1-0. Was quite even, if I'm not mistaken. And Roma, they're doing well, I guess. I think they are 7th right now, if I'm not mistaken. So not bad. Just outside the European positions. Juventus came 1-0 against Spezia. Juventus are winning with very narrow margins right now. I'm not saying we're not, because we are as well. But Juventus right now, they're winning and they're not dominating their games. I will talk about that in a second in terms of the Coppa Italia fixture, which happened just after I recorded the last podcast. Milan against Napoli 1-0. The Giroud deflection off a Calabria shot got us the goal. Genoa Empoli 0-0, Hellas Verona Fiorentina 1-1, Bologna Toro 0-0, Sassuolo demolished Venezia 4-1, Lazio Cagliari 3-0, and Udinese Sampdoria 3-1. Then in the second week, which was just happened now last weekend, we had Inter coming 1-1 to Torino. I have a bit to talk about this game. So basically, Inter 1-1 Torino. There was the Torino goal in the beginning, which was a shot from Pobega, or a pass from Pobega. It hit Pobega basically, deflected off Pobega, and then it hit into Bremer, who put it into the net very early on. Like, I think it was around the 20 minute mark, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, basically they dominated the game then onwards, and obviously Inter had a few chances here and there, but nothing major. And in the first half, before the halftime whistle was blown, Belotti got taken out, and I'm pretty sure both referees, I think the VAR referee and the actual referee, are suspended into Serie B. Many people, many Inter fans are saying, oh, it wasn't a penalty, he got the ball as well as he got his foot. If he got the foot first, it's a penalty, bro. Like, literally, I don't know. I can ask one of my Inter fans that's a friend of mine. He might also not agree with me. I haven't really spoken to him about it. But basically, Inter, I don't think that they deserve to win that game. They should have been 2-0. Belotti might have scored the penalty, might have missed, I don't know. But technically, I really do think that Inter shouldn't have won that game. Shouldn't have got any points out of that game. It was a 1-1, so not too bad. But yeah, the referees did get demoted into Serie B, and that's all I have to say about that game. The Roma Udinese 1-1. Udinese handball in the last few minutes, which gave Roma a penalty, and Roma finished that penalty, which made them have the 1-1 draw. So right now, those two teams, which are very big teams, struggling again. Juventus against Sampdoria struggled in the game. They barely got any chances. An own goal, a penalty, and a last goal from Morata, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Sampdoria did dominate in terms of chances. They couldn't finish the chances. Juventus capitalised on that. 3-1. The scoreline flatters Juventus a lot in that aspect, but they're getting the points, so fair enough to them. 3-1 against Sampdoria. Milan-Empoli 1-0. I watched this game. I tried to watch as many Milan games as possible. I tried to watch as many Serie A games as possible, but with responsibilities, work, and all that stuff, I don't always manage to watch as much as I would like to. But Milan-Empoli, I watched it. It was a good game. We had a lot of chances. Empoli had like a few chances here and there, maybe 3 or 4 chances. Kudos to them because they actually made Maignan work a little bit, not too much though. They had Milan had some very good chances, but the goal from Kalulu, absolutely phenomenal. Something just fell on my side, sorry about that. But yeah, the shot from Kalulu was absolutely phenomenal. I saw some posts on Twitter. Maignan was actually at the side of the goal. Not the goal, it's the side of the free kick, like on the sidelines where the substitutes are. And he was trying to arrange the what's it called? The barriera, the wall, so that they blocked Silvestri's, was it not Silvestri's? I forgot the name of the goalkeeper. Anyway, the goalkeeper, Empoli's goalkeeper, they tried to block his view. Was it Vicario? I think it might have been Vicario. They tried to block his view, Milan's players, so that they'd have more chance to score. And then Kalulu on the rebound, 1-0 Milan, and that's how it finished. Genoa-Atalanta finishing 0-0. Genoa are actually the champs of draws. They're literally drawing every game here and there, and we still have to face them if I'm not mistaken, which I will talk about very soon. So that is going to be very interesting. Napoli-Hellas 2-1, very straightforward. I think Napoli and Hellas were quite even. Hellas Verona, I think, got a red card at some point, or possibly even 2 red cards. I'm not exactly sure how that finished, but Napoli did beat them. Fiorentina-Bologna 1-0. Sassuolo-Venezia 2-2. Sassuolo-Sanitaria 2-2. Lazio-Venezia 1-0. And Cagliari-Spezia 2-0. I'm going to actually read this out to you guys. So, Milan have 9 games left. They have against Cagliari, Bologna, Torino, Genoa, Lazio, Fiorentina, Hellas Verona, Atalanta, Sassuolo. That is Milan's games left. Milan are on 63 points in first place. If Inter win their game that they haven't played against Bologna, they would still be 1 point underneath us. So Milan basically, they're their own. If they win every game, they win the Serie A. So they are basically, they're holding their own fate. So if their own fate is in their own hands, basically. So yeah, Milan have those games left. They have against Genoa, again, drawing merchants. Fiorentina, doing well this season. Lazio, they're kind of mid-table right now. Hellas Verona, they're not mid-table. I think they're like 6th or 7th, maybe. Hellas Verona, not bad, doing well. They're always a team that will give you a fight. Atalanta, they're doing not the greatest right now, but they always could show up. Sassuolo, again, they drew against Sanitaria, which was weird, but we did as well, so we can't really talk about that. But they always can give you a game with those 3 in attack. Napoli's games coming up. We have Udinese, Atalanta, Fiorentina, Roma, Empoli, Sassuolo, Torino, Genoa and Spezia. They have 60 points. Then we have Inter, who have Fiorentina, Juventus, Hellas Verona, Spezia, Roma, Udinese, Empoli, Cagliari and Sampdoria, with the Bologna game as well. And then we have Juventus, who have Sanitaria, Inter, Cagliari, Bologna, Sassuolo, Venezia, Genoa, Lazio and Fiorentina. Many of the teams have very similar opponents. Like, I think, if I go back on this, here we go. We've got Bologna, Inter's got Bologna, and Juventus have got Bologna. Juventus have got Genoa, Napoli have got Genoa, we've got Genoa. Spezia, Inter and Napoli have got Spezia. Roma, Inter and Napoli have got Roma as well. Fiorentina, we've all got Fiorentina left. So we've all got very similar opponents. Juventus probably have the easiest group, as they have 3 big teams: Inter, Fiorentina, Lazio. Well, so do Inter have 3 big teams. Inter have Fiorentina, Juve and Roma. Napoli have Atalanta, Fiorentina and Roma. And we have Fiorentina, Lazio and Atalanta. So probably we have the easiest route, you could say. But then in terms of like mid-table / small teams, Juventus have the easiest route because they have the smallest teams. Technically though, Juventus, if they win with small margins and if they win by defending and then just counter-attack, they should be able to win against any team, even if it's a small team, even if it's a relegation team trying to fight back. They'll still be able to win with that technique, technically. So, you know, it all matters on the push of the team and the fight of the team and how the team interacts with the pressure on the day. Juventus, I don't think they have a chance of winning the Serie A. I think it's basically between the other three teams. Napoli, I don't know. Napoli, Spalletti is a coach that I like, but they also have some problems with some of their players, so I'm not sure about that. And Inter, Inzaghi seems to be bottling it, like he did with Lazio a few seasons ago when he was facing against Juventus for the league. So my bet is on us, AC Milan, unless we bottle it like we did last season with the final few games. But I don't think Juventus will win it. It's between us and Inter, I think. But Inter, I don't know, I feel like Inter will bottle it because of their coach. Their coach is a very good coach. He can be a bit of an arse, but he's a very good coach. I like him. Props to him. But he does have a track record of really bottling a lead when he has one in terms of the league. Twice, I think he did it. And Napoli also did it twice with Juventus. But they had a few different players and a different coach back when they did it with Juventus. So I'm not sure about that. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that. Yeah, so basically that is how the league stands and how the league will stand for a while. Talking about very narrow leads with Juventus, Juventus aren't actually one of the top teams that are actually getting draws or comebacks or very small margin wins, as we are the team in Italy that have got the most small margin wins this season. So, you know, I can't really talk much about that in terms of Juventus. Juventus just really work for those little, like they work for those chances, and once they're up on top, they don't push anymore for any more goals. It's very weird. But it's Allegri ball, so I don't really expect to understand that. I mean, when he was with us, he didn't really play like that. But when he was with Juventus, he's always been very similar to the way he's playing right now. And he has less quality players right now as well. So, you know, you don't really blame him. But I actually do want to speak about the Coppa Italia very quickly before we move on to anything Serie A based, anything else Serie A based. So, yeah, I do want to talk about Juventus versus Fiorentina. I watched that whole game almost. Fiorentina absolutely destroyed Juventus, and I felt so bad for I think it was Venuti. I'm not sure who scored that own goal at the last minute, but it was their right back, if I'm not mistaken, or someone along that line. And he put the ball into his own net. It was so unlucky. It was in the final few minutes of the game, in extra time, and he put it into his own net, and I felt so bad because Fiorentina were absolutely destroying Juventus. I'm sorry for any Juventus fans that are going to take this badly, but they were... Is this focusing? Yeah, it is. They were absolutely demolishing you guys, honestly, and they didn't deserve to be losing. The draw would have been... that would have been an understatement to say the draw would have been fair, because it wouldn't have been. The fair result would have been a 1-0 win for Fiorentina, in my eyes anyways, and I don't know if Fiorentina would be able to fight back. I'm hoping that they will be able to fight back, even though I would prefer to play Juventus in the final if Milan do get through against Inter. Inter and Milan came 0-0. It was a very even game, very boring game in my eyes. But we did do well. I think we were slightly off the better team. But Juventus Fiorentina, I do hope that Juventus pass, because if we face them in the final, I think we have the better team right now and the better form right now to beat them. Actually, we're not in a better form, I don't think, but I do think that we have what it takes to beat them in the Coppa Italia final, if it does come down to it. I feel like we'd struggle more against Fiorentina than we would against Juventus, and that sounds weird saying that now, because a few years ago I would have preferred to come against Fiorentina, obviously. But yeah, I prefer to come against Juventus than against Fiorentina in that Coppa Italia final. Mela, now, yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about Kalulu's progression. Kalulu and, like, let's go through our first team quickly. So we have Manyan, Kalulu, who else do we have? Tomori, Florenzi, and Theo, Benaker and, not Kessi, what's his name? Tonali. Then we have, in the attack, we have Leao, we have Diaz, and we have Messias, and up front we usually have Giroud at this point in time. So, Giroud seemed to be a finished player. He seemed to be a player that was just coming to Milan to just, you know, relax, be a professional, be a experienced player, and just try and give us that helping hand in trying to secure the Scudetto, which he is doing, to be fair to him. But he's just been an absolutely outstanding player. He's in the right moment, he's in the right place at the right time. Every time he's always there in the right place at the right time, and he is an absolutely outstanding player. So to be fair to him, I absolutely commend him for what he's done at Milan this season. He's been amazing. But talking about Giroud, we've always known that Giroud's been a really good player. Leao's always slacked off. He's always been the player that slacked off in that first season anyways, at least. Last season and this season, he's been a changed player. It's like we're witnessing this guy's road to Ballon d'Or. It's like we're witnessing this guy, I'm not going to try to compare them, but what Ronaldo did with United a few seasons ago, we might be seeing this guy do it with AC Milan. And I'm hoping he doesn't leave, because he's had offers from PSG and Barcelona. I'm really hoping he doesn't leave, because they've had 60-70 million bids. Milan don't want to sell him, but obviously it depends on him if he's going to renew the contract, because I think he has a contract to 2022. No, 23 I think. 23 or 24 his contract is until. So I don't want to lose him for free, as we have just lost Kessie today. We've just lost Kessie for free to Barcelona for 6.5 million plus 1.5 million bonus and 10 million commission to his agent. We were never going to give him that. We gave him like 5 million, I think, if I'm not mistaken, plus 1.5 million bonus, which would have been 6.5 million. And then we were going to give the agent like 3 million commission, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or I don't even know if we even gave any commission to the agent. So this agent commission sort of stuff, it's never going to work with us, and we've seen it. Kahanoglu sitting on the bench, literally just sitting there. 1 second. Focus. Kahanoglu just sitting on the bench for Inter it just makes people wonder, like, why the hell would you leave a team that's building a project for a team that are in depth and becoming even more in depth? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, he left Milan for Inter, and Inter, I'm hoping we win the league simply for that. Literally, he left Inter because they won the league, because they needed a player that plays at Cam, because of Eriksen, who's also made his debut recently for Brentford, which I'm really happy about. Kudos to him for coming back and fighting back. I would have never had the guts to do that after what happened to him. But yeah, kudos to him. And yeah, they needed a player for that position, and he went and filled that position. Now, if he doesn't manage to win the league, I think that was partly why he went with them as well. They won the league, he wanted to win something. I don't think he's ever won anything with any teams that he's been with. And to go with them and try and win something, and he just loses the team that he literally was with, it would just be the cherry on the top. The cherry on the top after beating him in many derbies since he's been there. It would just be a cherry on top. I don't like the guy. When he was with Milan, he wasn't the best. He wasn't the worst. In that last season with Pioli, he was decent. I'm going to admit it. I have to admit it. He was a good player. He was decent. But he was also very inconsistent. Suso was a very similar player. Suso was quite inconsistent, but he was a very good player at times. Yes, he did get us out of a lot of shit. So you got to admit it, when they're a good player, but they also are very inconsistent. They're not the best players. Like Castillejo, very inconsistent. Messias, very inconsistent. Salamakers, great player, very inconsistent. Rebic, very inconsistent. Leao wasn't the best in the first season. Second season, he was a bit inconsistent, but this season he's just been a bullet train. He's been amazing. Yeah, so honestly, I gotta say that I do think that Milan did the right thing by not giving him like fucking 7 million to Kahanoglu and to Kessie. I don't think Kessie's always been a good player, but I don't think he deserved. I don't think he deserved 9 to 10 million plus 10 million commission fee to the agent. Literally, if we sign Renato Sanchez for 5 million a season, example, and we give his agent what we already know his agent. He's got Leao. He's got a few other players of our team. And we give his agent, what, 3 million commission or something along those lines, and we sign him for 15 million. That's almost what we would have signed Kessie for, just for his wages and his agent. So I don't really see the big deal in making this whole thing about this agent fee. Honestly, people don't like it because the management are saying that the management are clowns. They're not signing these kind of players. We need these kind of players to win the league, to win the Champions League. I don't think we need these players. If they want more money, they can just go with a different team. I don't really care. And at the end of the day, it's them that's not gonna benefit, because Milan have a project, and I believe in the project. And Maldini has just signed a new contract, and he's done so much progression with the team. He bought many of these players that were literally so low in value, and now they just skyrocketed. Tomori was like 20 million, now he's like 30 or 40. Kalulu, we bought him for like 500k, and now he's like 15 million, 16 million. There's so many players. Leao, 20 million. People are coming for him for 70 million. Salamakers bought him for like 8 million. Now he's what, like 20 million. Messias, he's already skyrocketed in value. Like, not skyrocketed, but we bought him for like, what, we got him on loan and 5 million. Nowadays he's apparently around 7 to 8 million. Scored in the Champions League. Like, Ibra came to us, he barely was worth anything. Even he went up in value when he came to us, because he could prove that he could still do it at a high level. Diaz went up in a bit in his value as well. Tonali, we bought him. We were meant to buy him for 35 million, I think. We bought him for 18, and now he's gone up to like 40. Benacer, we bought him for like 8 to 13 million or something like that, and now he's up to like 25 or 30 million. It's just incredible how Maldini has made all of these signings, and he's actually, I think, just signed a new contract along with Massara for the technical and sporting directors, which is very, very good for us as well. But we took a bit of a sidetrack there. Going back to Kalulu's progression. Kalulu is an absolute beast. He's 21. As I just said, we signed him for 500k, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he didn't have a senior appearance before he played for Milan. With Lyon, I think it was. And now he's just balling at that centre-back position. He didn't concede against Inter, Napoli, and there were a few other teams as well. Empoli and a few other teams. Big teams. I think Roma was one as well. Napoli, Inter, Roma, there were a few others as well that he played against, and he didn't concede. He's not conceded against big players like Dzeko, who's played for Man City, Lautaro, Osimhen, Sanchez, like all of these world-class players that have played for teams like Barcelona and City and Arsenal and United and all those teams. And this is a 21-year-old playing with a 23-year-old Tomori at the back, and they're just keeping out these players like Dzeko and Lautaro and Dybala and all these players that have won so many trophies, and they're just keeping them out like it's basically nothing, literally. Obviously they have Mike Maignan behind them as well, who is absolutely astonishing. The comradeship and the professionalism of that guy at the back in goal is absolutely amazing. He's only had one bad game this whole season, and he did a few mistakes when he came out for the ball and stuff, but I really think he is a better goalkeeper than Donnarumma in terms of the whole package. I'm not saying he does better saves or he's taller or anything. He just, in the whole package, he's a better goalkeeper, and we signed him for what, 15 million, when Donnarumma's wage would have been 15 million, not even for the agent fee and all that. So we did a very good bargain there in terms of Mike Maignan. So we were talking about Kalulu's progression. Basically, I've been sidetracked multiple times by my own brain telling me to speak about other things. So, Kalulu's progression, you could see this guy against all these top teams that I mentioned before, against all these top strikers that I mentioned before. The composure on him in general and even when he played last season, he had this composure. He did make some mistakes last season. This season till now, he hasn't made any great, grievous mistakes. But he has been an absolute wall at that back. And I just think him and Tomori could be the partnership that we need for next season, which I will talk about in a bit. But Kalulu is just, if you just watch some of his compilations and stuff, he is warranted to be one of the best centre backs in history. Like, he could be a Desai type centre back where he could play in the midfield as well. He could play right back, left back. That's what makes him so versatile as well. He's played right back, left back, centre back. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point he plays in CDM. I don't know. He's just all round very, very good. I also want to quickly touch on Milan versus Napoli. So if Milan and Napoli finish on the same points, that Salamaker's miss that happened will actually cost us a lot, because if Napoli have more goal difference, that would mean that Napoli would win the league on goal difference, and that would break everyone's heart. I know that Napoli winning the league isn't the worst thing that could happen. In my opinion, I prefer Napoli to win the league than Juventus or Fiorentina or Inter, for the simple reason that Inter won it last season and they're a rival of Milan, and Juventus have won it 8 or 9 times in a row a few seasons back, so I don't really want them to win it. And for Napoli it would be good because I was going to say that Gattuso's with them. I totally forgot that Spalletti was their coach for 2 seconds. But yeah, Napoli, they're not my least favourite team in Serie A. If I could choose anyone else to win, I would choose Fiorentina. I don't like Atalanta because of their coach, but he's a good coach, don't get me wrong. I just don't like his attitude. Fiorentina have a great coach and I love him in terms of everything, and so do Napoli. So if I had to pick someone to win the league, it would be one of them too. Fiorentina aren't going to win it though, but we always have next season. But yeah, that Salamaker's miss is going to cost us if we are the same points as Napoli at the end of the season. Also, talking about seasons, this is our first season to break 63 points in 29 games since 2011-2012 when we came second. We came second in that season, and we haven't broken it since. I think last year we were very, very close to breaking it in 29 games, and at the end of the season we did break it, but this season we broke it in 29 games. So hopefully that means that we're going to come second or first, hopefully. And we have actually pushed around 15 points from fourth, which means that we have basically definitely got that top 4 spot, along with basically all the other teams in the top 4, I think. I think Inter and Napoli are basically safe. Juventus are on the edge, but I think they're safe as well for top 4, which is very good for them. Now moving on to, basically I wanted to say that Milan are basically done from the debt. They're basically done, and they could be able to sell again soon. From what I heard on Twitter and other news websites, they're actually not going to sell yet, because Elliott wants to keep them for now. But they might cash in the next few years and make a big sale again. Hopefully, the new people that buy them won't have any problems with Maldini and Massara. I'm hoping Maldini and Massara, at least Maldini and Moncada as well, will stay there for a long, long time in terms of sporting, technical and scouting. Going on to European football and the World Cup, I wanted to just quickly touch on this. Champions League fixtures last night. United played against Atletico and they lost. PSG, I actually didn't even touch on this. I didn't even write it down as notes. PSG lost against Real Madrid. Donnarumma made a big error. In that error, honestly, that was a foul. Donnarumma shouldn't have done what he done. It was a grievous error that we've seen so many times, even with Milan. But he should not have turned around and done that. But also it was a foul. Benzema did foul him. But then again, PSG, they're not playing it as well as they should have. They have Messi, they have Di Maria, they have Neymar, they have Mbappe, they have Draxler, they have Dishagana Gay, they have Wijnaldum, they have Kere, they have Kimpembe, they have Sergio Ramos, they have Donnarumma, they have Keylor Navas, they have, I don't even know, they have, I'm probably missing some players. They have Thiago, no, they don't have Thiago, they had Thiago at some point, I think. Who else do they have? They probably have some other players. I'm not sure. They've signed so many players in the past few years that I don't even remember half of them. Did I mention Neymar? I think I mentioned Neymar. They just have so many players, and you can't have that many players and play against a Real Madrid team that, yeah, they were falling off and now they're coming back again with Ancelotti, and with some signings and stuff, same as Barcelona with Xavi. But you cannot lose to Real Madrid when you have so many good players in your team. You have Messi, you have Neymar, and Mbappe. Mbappe, one of the best for years to come. Neymar, one of the best youngsters in a few years ago, and now he is up there with one of the best players in the world. And Messi, he is one of the best, if not the best. So you have those three players. No disrespect to Benzema, but he is no best player in the world. No way in head is he one of the best players in the world. He's one of the best strikers in the world. Yes, I will agree with that, but he's not one of the best all-round players in the world. And I don't know. I just feel like with all the wage thing problems and stuff, and they even want to sign Leao now for 70 million plus 7 million for him and a few commission for his agent. It's just incredible how they just have all this money and they haven't won the Champions League. Where is the money coming from? Two, how is the European League even letting this happen? And three, how are they not doing better with all these players? I cannot imagine that. But tonight there is Juventus versus Villarreal. I think Juventus will win and continue in the Champions League. And then there is I'm not sure what the other, Chelsea versus Lille. I think I'm not really sure about that. I think Chelsea will pass though. I'm pretty sure they've already almost made sure that they passed with a 2-0 gap line. Now, Sassuolo trio for the attack. This is a question that many people, even friends and people on Twitter, have been talking about. Should the Sassuolo trio make up Italy's attack? So you've got Berardi, you've got Scamacca, and you've got Raspadori. They have so much chemistry in that Sassuolo team that could they take it into the Italy national team? That is a question for you guys. I want you guys to answer that. What do you think? I don't think they're all fully ready because there are very young players in that attack. So I would personally try Scamacca because we don't have a striker that's scoring, but I wouldn't play Raspadori and Berardi with them. I would personally go with Chiesa, Scamacca, Insigne, or Chiesa, Berardi, Scamacca. That would be a good trio, but I wouldn't play all three of them together. And also, who would you call up? João Pedro for Italian national team, or Balotelli? Because that is something that Mancini is considering between those two. I would personally call up Balotelli, even though João Pedro is a good goal scorer in Serie A. For the history and for the experience, I would call up Balotelli. Now, the final thing I wanted to mention today was next week's games. I wanted to actually speak about Milan's players quickly. So, in goal, we have Mirante, Jungdal, Pilizzari and Tata. Personally, I would keep Jungdal, and we have obviously Magnan, but I would personally keep Jungdal, Tata, Pilizzari and Magnan. I would loan out Pilizzari or Jungdal, and I would keep the other two, Tata and one of the other youngsters. Mirante, I would just let him leave if his contract is expiring because he's just there for nothing. He might as well get on with his career and leave Milan. Then we have Florenzi. Would he sign again? I would personally sign him because you would have Florenzi, Calabria. On the other side, I would probably get Mazzurri, Truffert or Hickey for the left back position, or put Ballo in, or put Kalulu at left back. Personally, so I wouldn't keep Ballo. I would sell Ballo and keep one of those three or Kalulu as a left back position. Then I would bring someone up from the youngsters, either Stanga or there's a very good youngster. I forgot his name. It was a French youngster that we signed at the beginning of the season. One of them two, I would bring them up. I would loan them out or Gabbia out, and I would bring in Botman. So I would keep Botman, Kalulu, Tomori, Kier, Kalulu, Tomori, Kier, Botman. Those are the ones I'd keep, and a youngster, either Gabbia or a youngster. Midfield, I would have, in the CDM position, I would get Tonali, Renato Sanchez, Pobega, and Benacer. I would keep Cringe as an extra if he would stay there. Then in the attack, I would have, on the right-hand side, I would either sign... what's his name? I would either sign... I'm blanking out here. I would either sign Bergwijn, or... what's his name? The Belgian guy, De Catalare. In the behind the striker, I would keep Diaz and get Adli. Obviously, he's coming in now, so I would get those two positions for there. If Diaz is going to leave or something, I would either get Bayrami or Malinovsky to replace him, or Traore from Sassuolo. Then on the left wing, I would just keep Rebic and Leao. If one of them leaves, I would bring in Lang or Berardi. I would sell Castillejo. That's basically it. I'll go more in depth in these players later on. Salamakers, we still have Salamakers, which I forgot about. And Messias, I don't know what I would do with them too. They're honestly very inconsistent. I love Salamakers, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. Would you guys keep Salamakers and Messias? I would think about it, but I'm not sure. Even Diaz, I'm not even sure about. Malinovsky and Adli sound like a much better duo in my eyes, but Diaz loves Milan so much, so I'm not sure. So yeah, but on that right wing, I would get one of those two and keep Salamakers, I think, and Messias, just let him go. So I would let Messias go. I would sign Florenzi. Yeah, I would basically just sign Florenzi and let Diaz's loan run out, or at least not, like, I wouldn't sign him yet. Then in the attack, I would get Ibra. Well, I would just keep Ibra and Giroud, and then I would either keep Lazetic or Colombo, loaning out the other one. And then I would either get Belotti, Scamacca, or Isaac. People are mentioning Origi, David, and Mertens. I don't like Origi. I don't think he is good to be... I mean, Giroud's going to be faltering off next season, probably. Ibra's just fully with injuries right now, so let alone what he would be next season. And Origi is 26, so he is younger than Belotti, but Belotti knows the Serie A, Scamacca knows the Serie A, and Isaac is 22, and he is Swedish, so he can link up with Ibra, and he's just an absolute monster in La Liga with Real Sociedad. So I would just get one of those three. Origi isn't really on my wanted list for Milan. Moving on to the last topic of this podcast. Next few games, who will be winning? I'm just going to give my predictions. So Sassuolo Spezia, I'm going to give it as a 3-1 for Sassuolo. Genoa Torino, I'm going to give it as a 0-0, another draw for Genoa. Napoli Udinese, I am going to give it as a 2-1 for Napoli. Inter Fiorentina, I'm going to give it as a 3-2 for Fiorentina. Cagliari Milan, I'm going to give it as a 2-0 for Milan. Venezia Sampdoria, I'm going to give it as a 2-2. Empoli Verona, I'm going to be giving it as a 2-1 for Verona. Juventus Sanitaria, I'm going to be giving it as a 2-1 for Juventus. Roma Lazio, I'm going to be giving it as a 1-1. And Bologna Atlanta, I'm going to be doing it as a 1-1 as well. So that is basically it. That has been the podcast number 2. We've gotten through it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Let me know your predictions for the top 4 relegation battle, and also the Europa League positions and the Champions League positions down below in the comments. Also, answer some of the questions that are in the description, and also I mentioned in this video, but you might not remember them, so I've left them in the description. I'm going to try and make this as professional as possible. If you want me to improve some aspect of this podcast, let me know. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have any names for this podcast, I will actually take them down below in the comments. If you want me to actually transfer this podcast onto another channel in the future, I will. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed, guys. If you have, hit that like button, because it will really help me and basically make me want to upload this more, even though I'm going to be uploading this no matter what, because I love recording them. I love speaking to the camera about football, and I just want to get to know your opinions more out in the football world. I want to get to know people's opinions out in the AC Milan supporters world, Serie A, and footballing world. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.